Hey guys, it's your favorite Java programmer, Pogo here. Hope you guys liked the new intro, and welcome to the next episode of MagicBattle Coding. In this episode, we are going to make some awesome lobby signs that will automatically update the number of people in the arena and the arena state. So before we begin, since the last time we met, I made a few small settings changes. The first is I made this little location util class with a static method for getting a location from a configuration section. It's helpful for, I implemented it into the arena like this, and we're going to use it in the lobby signs. And basically you give it a configuration section where it pulls the world X, Y, and Z, and if you do save the pitch and yaw, then you would pass true there, and then it would load the pitch and yaw. If you don't save it, pass it as false, and you're good. Also, in Settings Manager, I changed it around a significant amount. Before we had one Settings Manager with the getInstance method. What I've done is we're going to have multiple configuration files. We're going to have one configuration file for the arenas, and we're also going to have one for the lobby signs. And if you guys want to extend this farther for like stats and other information, it's usually better to keep files in separate configuration files on the system. So what I did is, rather than have one singular one, and back with the old settings manager, I would just have two different files and say get arenas and get lobby signs, set arenas and set lobby signs, all those different things. But this time what I did is I made settings manager is now instantiatable, but only within the settings manager class. So I couldn't go here and make another settings manager. It has to be inside of the settings manager class, but I put the setup method into here. Also, it doesn't take a plugin because in the MagicBattle class, I just put this get plugin method, which returns the MagicBattle plugin from the bucket. It's just an easy way to access it. So it'll go about doing all these different things, and basically you instantiate with a file name. So, for example, if I gave it arenas, then the file name will be arenas.yml. And then it, of course, has the set, create configuration section, and get methods inside of it. So I have one for arenas and one for lobby signs, and I have get arenas and get lobby signs. And I've just updated in, like, create and whatever. So now instead of being get instance, it is get arenas. And that's about it there. So now we are going to need to go ahead and work on the arena signs, the lobby signs. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so we're going to have a few different, and I'm not sure if we can do this in one episode because it's a lot of work, but we're going to have a few different components. So we're first going to have to recognize, I think that's spelled wrong, recognize signs. So if I type like MagicBattle 1, then it should be converted into a sign. And after that, we need to go ahead and saving and loading of signs. And we also are going to need the setting of signs. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the, so first what we're going to go ahead and do is make a private array list signs equals new array list sign. And it's going to be, I believe, the block. If it's not, we will fix it. Then we're going to have our public sign manager, because remember, this is a listener, so we're going to instantiate it in the MagicBattle class. So when it is instantiated, we actually need to set it up. So the way that the configuration file works is it will be signs, and then it'll have So, and then it'll have signs, and then it'll say, like, you know, it'll just have a number. The number doesn't really matter, but, so let's say it's sign number 1. And sign number 1 will say, location, and then it'll say the X, the Y, the Z, the world. We don't need to save the pitch and the yaw, because it's not a location in that sense, just a location in the sense of where the block is. So we will save the location, and then we will save the arena number. Spelled that wrong. So let's say it corresponds to arena 1. It will pull all of the information from arena 1. So that is what we need to do. And in fact, we're probably going to need to make this a hash map. And it'll be a sign and an arena equals new hash map sign arena. Good. So now let's go ahead and actually load the data. So we're going to go ahead and write for string str, I believe, settings manager dot get lobby signs dot get. And I believe that what we want to get, oh yes, it's going to be a configuration section dot configuration section get signs dot, and import that, dot get keys, and I think that's true. I'm not completely sure. We'll figure that out. So what that should do is it should iterate through every single string inside of every single key. So, like, for example, 1, and then, so if I have 1 and then I have another one called 2, then it'll go first through 1 and then through 2. So we're going to go ahead and write configuration section equals settings manager dot get lobby signs dot get signs dot str. So there is our section, and we are going to say so first off, so then we're going to say location lock equals location util dot location from config, and it's going to be section dot get configuration section location, and then we don't need to save the pitch and the yaw. And then as far as getting the block, I think it's like block dot I think there's a method block dot maybe sign s equals block dot, and I think that's the wrong block. Alright, so yes, we want to import that, and we also want to import that block. So I think block dot, no, how do you get a block from a location? I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video and figure that out. What? It's actually easier than I thought. So sign s equals sign, because we know it's a sign because we're gonna make sure of it. Sign lock dot get block, which I didn't even I totally forgot about that, dot get state, because don't forget that sign is a block state. Decompiler's messed up, I will fix it, but as you can see, it extends block state, which means it is a state, and you need to do block.get state. And you are then going to go ahead and say signs.put s and lock, or no, sorry, it wants a sign and an arena. Oh yes, and then we are going to say arena A equals arena manager dot get instance dot get arena for section dot get int arena number. Good. And then we're going to put S and A. And that should work fine. Alright, that's good. Alright, so now when sign manager is instantiated, it will go through and set everything up. So first, let's go ahead and register our first listener to recognize the signs, and that will actually handle the saving of the signs. We already just did the loading, so at event handler public void on sign change, it's a sign change event e. If e dot get line 0 dot equals ignore case magic battle then, so if it does say magic battle, then we can go ahead and say, okay, they're trying to make a magic battle sign. Let's go through and do everything. So int id, try id equals integer dot parse int e dot get line 1, catch exception e, and e dot get, oh sorry, it's exception ex, e dot get player dot send message chat color dot red that is not a valid arena number. Okay, so we are now going to go ahead and say arena A equals arena manager dot get instance dot get arena ID. If A equals null, dot get player. I just realized we're supposed to use the message manager. And that would be e dot get player message type dot error. Oh wait, I imported the wrong message type. So let's go ahead and import my message type. And I think it's bad, not error. That is not a valid arena. And we also need to return, because we do not want the code to keep going. Okay, so now we know that they have a valid arena. Alright, so let's go ahead and so first let's go ahead and save the data, and then we'll go ahead and load it. So first we're going to go ahead and say configuration section equals, and it's going to be settings manager dot get lobby signs dot create configuration section signs dot, and then we're going to get keys true dot size +1. And what that's going to do is it is going to create a configuration section at signs, and the number we're assigning it is we're getting all the keys in signs, and we're getting the size, and we're adding 1. So if there are 4 keys in there, then this is going to be the 5th thing in there. And what's wrong with this? I spelled it wrong. Okay, so then we need to put all of the information in there. So first, let's go ahead and we'll just go right here, and we will say configuration section location equals section dot create section location dot set world to e dot get block dot get location dot get world dot get name. Did I spell this wrong again? Yes, I did. There we go. Location dot set x to e dot get block dot get location dot get x. And this should work. Don't forget, guys, that if you have this code and the code doesn't work, then that's just because it's not done yet. Okay, section dot set location to location. I believe we have to do that. Actually, you know what? I don't think we do. If we do, I'll fix it. And then we can go ahead and say section dot set arena number to e dot to ID, and that has to be a string. Or actually, no, it doesn't. So set it to ID. All right, good. So that is for the saving, and we can then go ahead and say settings manager dot get lobby signs dot save. You know what, I don't think we need to do that. Never mind. All right, so then it'll set the arena number to the ID, and then finally we need to go ahead and do signs dot put e dot get block, and it's going to have to be sign e dot get block dot get state. We already know it's a sign because it's a sign change event, and it's going to be A. So that should be good. And the last thing that we need to do, so after we add the sign, then we want to go ahead and say e dot set line. Well, the first line is fine. If you want to add colors and deal with that, you guys can. So then we want to set line of 1. Okay, so then 2. We want to set line 2, which is actually the third line, to be a dot get, and we're going to have to add a few methods now to the arena class. We'll put that up here. Public int get current players. Return data dot size, because when a player is removed, it'll data dot remove. Oh, it looks like we have something called current players. Oh well, I guess we can just use that. Alright, that's fine. And I don't think that there's a limit on the number of players that can join. If you guys want to add that, you can. So, so then we'll just go ahead and say a dot get current players. So it'll say like 8 players, whatever. And e dot set line 3, which is actually the 4th line, to a dot get state dot to string. So that will handle the initial change. Now we need to actually write a few methods. So public sign get sign for arena A, because or actually it's going to be signs, and I guess it'll be an array list of sign. So then we're going to have to say array list signs equals new array list sign for, oh, and actually we have to call that S, for sign S, or for signs dot value dot key set if signs dot get sign equals a s dot add sign. return S. I know that that code looks confusing because it's like S sign and signs, but we're creating a new array list of signs. We're going through every sign in the key set of up here, and if the arena for the sign that we're currently on is equal to A, so all the signs that apply to this arena are added to an array list, and that's what we get back. So now in the arena class, we want to go ahead and implement this. So let's have our private array list player data, and let's have our private array list signs, and then we'll go ahead and say signs equals sign manager dot. Okay, I guess that's going to have to be static, in which case this is also going to have to be static, but that should be okay. So now we're going to actually have to add a few. So when we go to add the players, so when we do current players plus sign dot, so for sign s signs, s dot set line 2, which is the third line, to current players with a thing. Alright, so that'll update that. So now when we go to remove the players, we need to do the exact same thing. Okay, so now when we go to update the state, we're going to go ahead and set line 3 to be get state dot toString, and also I believe we need to do like s dot update. We can't forget that. That's very important. And then, so then we set the state, and then, oh, we didn't even set the state here. So we're going to go ahead and do c.run, which is the countdown. And then finally we are going to do state equals arena state dot started. Then we'll go ahead and update all of the signs there. Alright, so now we have loading and we have saving. We have setting, recognize save signs. We have that. Saving and loading and setting of signs. The only thing that we don't have is the clicking. So let's see how we're doing on time. Yeah, it's already at 23 minutes. Alright, so, you know what, I think it's probably worth the extra time. Let's just go ahead and quickly add a player interactive event. And also, I just realized we have a bit of a problem. Basically, the problem is right now, if we try to if we call arena manager.setup, it's going to do this sign manager.get signs, which is going to be null. But if we start sign manager first, then this arena is going to be null. So I will fix that. That's pretty easy to fix. I'll just move that to a static setup method or something. So don't worry about that. It'll be a little bit changed for the next time. So here's our player interact. So we can just go ahead and like copy, I guess, just this line. If e.get block, no, sorry, if e.get clicked block.get state instance of sign s equals sign e.get clicked block.get state, if s.getLine 0 dot equals MagicBattle, and it's actually going to be lowercase. And if you wanted to do colors, then that's where you would make sure that you check if it's equal to MagicBattle with the colors. arena manager.getInstance.get arena integer.parseInt s.getLine1 dot s.getLine1 dot add player e.getPlayer, and that should be good. So let's just go ahead. Let's put that in there. So, alright, so now if we go to our MagicBattle main thing, we're going to, so first we need to go ahead and say, alright, so first we need to instantiate, so sign manager sm equals new sign manager. Alright, you know what? Let's just make this easier. We're going to make this easier. So, let's go ahead and register pm.register events new sign manager this. And we're going to change sign manager so that it saves an integer instead of an arena. And the integer represents the arena number. And section.getInt arena number. Let's just make it easy. If arena manager.getInstance.getArena at that integer equals a, and finally we need to put a.getID, and I guess that's it. Alright, so just trying to think if there are any other problems. Oh yes, this needs to be instantiated before the arenas are set up. So, alright, so that is all for this episode. We added a cool lobby sign thing, which may or may not work. There's nothing left on the to-do list, and I didn't see any comments on the last video pertaining to stuff we have to do, so unless you guys can think of anything, I think we're ready to debug and test. Last time I kind of cheaped out and did all the debugging quickly by myself, and then the final version turned out a little bit buggy, but this time we are actually going to do the debugging. I'm probably going to do a live stream of it, and I'm thinking it'll be over this weekend. So if you guys are interested in watching the debugging process, and possibly even joining in, going to a test server and helping test, please leave a comment below. It'll probably be this weekend. If none of you guys are really interested, I could just go in with one of my friends and test everything and figure out what all the problems are. As always, if you liked, subscribe if you want to see more, comment what you want to learn. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button, and I will see you guys soon, probably over the weekend. Goodbye.